Okay, so this is take two. I did this a little bit earlier at about 8 o'clock this morning. So I did a quick one there at 7:30, but it's about 9 o'clock. It's 8:45. This is Arizona, April 10th, 2025. And so we understand where the sun is and where the earth is, and we're going back to 2017 February. So it's going to be a little bit different. But notice the shadow here. This lamp is 4 foot 10 inches tall. Notice how tall the shadow is. Know how long the shadow is. That's because the sun is still low in the day. So when we talk about the sun rises in the east, sets in the west, and we understand that's not true. The sun stays in its place, and we are orbiting around the sun at about 400,000 miles an hour. I was watching the videos last night of Bridge Guy and Abby walking on the bridge. The full release of the video is out now, if that's even true. But I don't want to, I don't want to sound like a naysayer here, but in any investigation, the hardest a lot of times is actually to get to the truth. You have people that are deceitful, they're deceptive, they're going to lie to you. And then you have people that they were witnesses, they saw it happen, but their recollection doesn't really match with what did happen. And I can remember this when I was a undercover car, unmarked car, and I'd be on a highway, and I'd listen to truckers on the CB. Oh, there's green unmarked. There's a blue plain wrapper. There's a brown unmarked. There's a gray unwrapper. These No, the car was a light gray. Had antennas on the trunk, looked like a damn porcupine going down the road. Had no light bar. It's Crown Victoria. But I could be on the highway and they're calling out different colors. Now, were they being dishonest? No. No, of course not. One trucker sees me as a brown car. Another trucker sees me as a blue car. Another trucker sees me as a gray car. That's just the way it is. Recollection. And what I saw, I'm going to tell you what I saw. And maybe it's not right, but that's what I saw. That's what I remember that I saw. And I'm telling you truthfully. So, okay. But that's one of the things you run into. I made this earlier, and then I realized I made a mistake, so I'm going to do it over. So that was about an hour later. But the thing that I see is shadows. Light, shadow. Talking about the position of the sun. You have testimony from Kelsey. Dropped the girls off at 1 o'clock. Then I dropped the girls off at 1:30. Well, I dropped the girls off at 1:35. Well, and then it changes to 1:49. Why is this changing? Why is it changing from day one? If you said you did it at 1 o'clock, then you did it at 1 o'clock, but now it might be 1:30. But you have Richard Allen that says, well, I was on the bridge, 1:30 to 3 o'clock, 1:30 to 3:30. Is he stating that he's on the bridge from that time to that time? No. He's saying at a certain point of time, either it was somewhere around 1:30 or somewhere around 3:30 or somewhere in between. Yeah, I was there for a few minutes. I walked out to the one platform. I was watching the fish. I was looking at stock ticker software that I had on the phone, watching some stock purchases that he had. Is he saying that, oh, I was here from 1:30 to 3:30? No, that's not what he's saying. It's not what I'm saying. And then that's a separate subject. That's where you get into forensic language, forensic linguist. And I have a friend of mine, she's a doctor, and she's a well-known author. And that's her specialty. It's not my specialty. Notice the shadows? Now this shadow is long. It's early in the morning. It's 9 o'clock. Almost 9 o'clock. And the shadow's long. Why? Because the sun is low. Now as the sun gets higher, as we say higher, high noon, in the old Western movies, high noon, shadows get the shadows get shorter. They also change direction because the sun is moving. And we actually know it's the opposite. The sun is not moving. We're moving. Somewhere around 400,000 miles an hour around the sun. So as we move around the sun, the direction is going to change. And that's where we say, well, the sun sets in the west, rises in the east, sets in the west. Everybody understands that, but that's the appearance. This lamp is 4 foot 10 inches tall. So you're looking at Abigail, 13-year-old girl. She's roughly maybe around 46, 48, somewhere in there. So it's roughly about 4 foot tall. And then you look at Bridge Guy. We don't know who he is. We don't know he's the killer. All we have is a guy walking on the bridge. And you go to the end of the video where, whether it was Abby or Libby that ran by, I thought it was Abby that ran by. Someone's saying Libby, so I don't know, whichever it is, runs by, and you hear the guy. It says something like, guys, and then they say hi. They're not afraid of this guy. They're not even focusing on this guy. And everybody's saying, oh, they were so afraid. They were so afraid, and that's why they videoed him. No. Libby was videoing Abby walking across the bridge and coming across the bridge. She actually turns her back, and what are you looking at? Gravel. If they're so worried about this bridge guy, they would keep him in focus. But they don't. And you look on the bridge. Abby is about 4 foot tall. And you do the algebra, and you know where the sun is that, where it is at that period of time, in that month, on that day, and I've done that. Her shadow is roughly around 14.5 to 15 inches long. That's what it would be. Richard Allen, being 5'4", his shadow would be roughly about 16 inches long. Is that what you see on the bridge? No, that's not what you see. The sun is lower. That tells you that either it was earlier in the day when this was made, or it was later in the day when this is made. And that kind of blows out the prosecution as far as that. Now, you talk about the phone being changing elevation around 2:30, and then it turns off. And then you look at the confession of Ron Logan. The confession of Ron Logan fits what happened to the girls. But it can't be Ron Logan. It has to be somebody else. But that's what fits. And then you do voice. And I did voice. Ran his voice in the software. And I ran Bridge Guy in the software. I ran Ron Logan saying down the trail. I ran Bridge Guy saying down the hill. And guess what? It's a match. Matches Ron Logan's voice. Doesn't match Richard Allen. Now I'm going to go through Richard Allen's interview interrogation and see if I can find something that I can match, and we'll see what happens, but I don't see a match there. Then you look at the interview. Everybody's, oh man, that's so weird, because his wife is so upset. Well, it's been 5 years now. Everybody says, Bridge Guy's the killer, Bridge Guy's the killer, Bridge Guy's the killer. You don't know that factually. The only fact that you have is a guy walking on the bridge, and evidently he's walking up behind Abby. But you look at the video that they made, they're not afraid of this guy. And you hear the one girl, she plainly, you can hear her, she says, hi. That's typical. Typical young girl to an older male. Hi. It's not, hi, I want to go with you. Hi, I want to go to bed with you. Hi, you know, I want to do whatever. No, it's just passing people, passing.